Hello everyone, I hope you're all doing very well. So we're cracking through our viewer requested questions, and this one I'm desperately trying to put off, from John SS 1948 on whatever media it was. Topic: GR improvement. How has GR improved over 4 years? Eek. Right, okay, so I figured we might as well tie this in with another request via email of what's the history of GR, because the vast majority of people that watch GR have only actually joined in the last few weeks or months. That's just how it works. I have no idea where it came from and how it started and stuff like that. So GR is just a massive accident that happened. And I found my old channel. So here is my old channel, and I'll put a link into it in the video description of what you're watching now, although I don't intend to update this. This is an old channel, so I wouldn't suggest subscribing to it or anything like that. It was called Emperor Tuning here. It's actually my work channel. Let me just back out here. So I used it as, I used to sell car parts, performance car engines, engine tuning, stuff like that. I had hundreds of videos on there originally, but most have been deleted. So it was purely a work channel, and I started uploading in early 2015, it must have been, some plane videos. And the reason I did that was, I think, oh God, I can't actually remember. I think it was just to give me something to do in the evenings when I wasn't doing my car stuff, even though, to be honest, I usually used to work nights and days for Emperor Tuning. And so I think the first video on here is dated the beginning of 2015. It's Grim Reapers, and it's not Grim Reapers Us. Grim Reapers didn't exist at that time. This is the real Grim Reapers, the 493rd F-15C Squadron at Lakenheath, England, and that's who we're named after, the Grim Reapers. Actually, the F-15Es, I don't think they're actually the Grim Reapers. They're another squadron that are there, but they share the base with the Grim Reapers. And then after going to that I went to visit these guys, and after that I got my love of planes back. So I used to love planes when I was just a kid, up to kind of the age of early teens, until I discovered alcohol and chasing ladies around and things like that. And then I lost interest because aeroplanes weren't cool then. And then 2015, 20 odd years later, just as life had it, I got back into aeroplanes. I went here. This is what got me back into aeroplanes. Then after that, I downloaded, a few days after, I downloaded X-Plane 10, which was free at the time. And then I could fly a Cessna about and whatnot. And then I realised you could download fighter planes, cool fighter planes from X-Plane 10. So I downloaded an Su-30, MiG-29 and stuff like that. And I made these just little videos, like everyone does, all of you do, doing stunts and silly things like that. And then I just started playing with X-Plane 10, having fun in high winds. You can see, literally watching this, exactly where Grim Reapers came from. In fact, it's the first time I've looked at this in 5 years. In fact, so how long has that been? So early 2015 to late 2019. It's nearly 5 years now since the very first video. Cessna flying at 60 knot winds, Blackbird flying at 900 miles per hour, F-16, hey, my favourite plane, look. Fighting Falcon flies aerobatic display. This has probably all got about 2 videos on them, 2 views on them. Air display with an Su-30 doing Cobras and stuff. Here's where I went. Must have gone back to Lakenheath to so that. Oh, 2014. Wow, so we really are going back. Ah, right. So the later ones must be down here then. No, actually, I think they're in no particular order by the looks of things. So that where is it? Sorry, I just lost that. That's late 2015. There it is, 2000. So late 2014. So it's over 5 years, or just about 5 years since I went there. F-14, 747 attempts to take off in 100-mile-an-hour crosswind and nearly crashes. F-16 Thunderbird practice formation. Bruntingthorpe, first time I went to Bruntingthorpe, 2015, May. Cold War jets. Flanker dogfights. I was trying to do dogfights in X-Plane 10, I guess. More landings at Lakenheath. That looks like DCS. So here's DCS then. Would have started 2016, which is 16, 17, 18, 19. 3.5 years ago then I must have started DCS. Emperor Squadron must have been my first ever video. Shoots down 2 hostiles, DCS combat. So it must have been, I guess, me on my own at that point. Or maybe it was with Joker. So at this point, early 2016, I've started in DCS. In fact, that might have been DCS. Yeah, the first plane I bought was the SU-27. I did that video there, which would have been terrible. And then I bought the F-15, and then I met my first buddy, which was Joker, who was 12 at the time, and I was 36 or something like that. And we used to play on Oh God, what was it? It was a Netherlands server that had really good ping at the time. It's probably not there anymore. And it was PvE, and that would have been me and Joker doing our first video, doing a graphics test to set my graphics card up. We shot down our first 2 hostiles. Emperor Squadron, we called ourselves at that time, based on Emperor 2D. All planes practice formation stunts, so it's just us messing around. All these different Emperor Squadrons doing stunts. No, what these were, I remember, because I couldn't find any friends at this time. Joker was unreliable, so I couldn't get him on. So we used to go to P-Man's old server. What was it called? Virtual Aerobatics. Used to be a server called Virtual Aerobatics on DTS. And because I had no friends, I would go on there, and all I'd do is F11, set my camera up at the most popular airbase there, jump on chat and tell everyone to come. I don't know if anyone watching can remember this, who might have been in DCS at the time. I would say, guys, I've got a camera down at Nowcheck or whatever. Come and do some stunts for me. And this is literally how Grim Reaper started, and my love of filming things, especially aeroplanes. And so I'd put a camera, terrible graphics at the time, get my camera, set it up, and just say, guys, fly by, do cool things. And that is just video after video after video after video of me sitting at the runway doing that. That's it. And then here, plain videos moving to a new channel. So at this point, I would have made a channel just for what is now called the Grim Reapers. Just go and have a look at when that was on. To this point, I didn't have a microphone, so I didn't even talk. So I had to communicate to people like this. How funny is that? Look, 17 people watched it. That's so funny. Where's the date of the bloody thing? Oh, there, 7th of August 2016. So the new channel would have been created 7th. Ooh, English Electric Lightning, cool. The new channel would be created August 2016. So at that point, we jumped to the new channel. I've got to figure out how to do that. Hang on. I seem to be locked in the old one at the moment for some reason. So I'm going to go concentrate Grim Reapers. This is the best way to ever get to the Grim Reapers channel, I find. I'm not much of a YouTube guy, to be honest, so I don't really... Or social media guys. There it is. Grim Reapers. Look, I can subscribe to my own channel. How cool. So I would have started, so mid-2016, we would have started this channel, which has become what it is, and we would have started, obviously these have all been organised over the years now, but I would have started in there. Human versus AI. I was going to have a quick look in there, just for the lols. Hopefully I would have put this in order. Come on, you batty. Come on, up we work. So this will be the old, yes, old stuff, look. Private video. Oh, we'll have to investigate that. That's fun. These are not in order, annoyingly. I'll have to go and order them. But let me just find. So ignore all of this. Ignore all of this. Ignore all of this. Ignore all of this. Progressive muscle relaxing training. What the fuck? Actually, it's probably there for a reason. I'm just going to leave it. That there would have been the first one. I need to reorder them. Cap and Crush. So Crush was our third guy. He was a German, I remember. Nice guy, but incredibly unreliable. So maybe once a week I could get him on to fly with, and I only had interest in flying with other people. I never wanted to fly on my own. I'm like a dog, a sociable animal. That, you know, if there wasn't such thing as multiplayer on DCS, I never would have touched the bloody thing. It would, but I appreciate most people are not like that. That's just how I have to be. Whatever I do, it has to be surrounded by humans. So I managed to get Crush to fly with me. We fly a cap mission, and we could refuel. And I couldn't refuel at the time. I could barely fly. And so Crush was refueling, and I would have been filming him. We do our first ground attack mission in Warthogs, as in A10As, not A10Cs. You know, all I've got at this point is a Sukhoi F-15 and an A10A. Cap and Reaper. So that was what Joker was called at the time. I managed to get him on. We could defend base from attackers. There's no F-16 and 18 at the time. These were AI only, so I don't know even why that's in there. Cap and Reaper defend airspace. Cap hunts eagles at night just on my own because I couldn't get either Reaper or Crush on. Cap Crush. And we go like this. Single mission. And then we get our next player. Oh, I'm just looking here. Piper. The next person that joined was Distro. He was, I think, Dutch. Really cool guy. Love to get him back if I could. And Piper, another cool guy. He was English, I'm pretty sure. And so they joined up with us, and we started doing multiplayer attacks in, I think it was the NL, the Neverland server. It was just the best one at the time for ping. And performance of the servers back then just wasn't as good as it is nowadays. So you had to choose really wisely where you went. And the whole game just wasn't as good. It just wasn't set up. You really take for granted, if you join DTS now, how good it is now compared to how it was back then. There were so many problems and inefficiencies with it back then. The basic core was there, but me, Joker, and Piper, Bomber Runway. Whatever happened to Piper? I think he had a demanding girlfriend. Me and Piper do hit and run tactics with Eagle Sums. Developing my, this is what I first got into, my F-15, and developing BVR tactics. It's the only thing I've ever been good at, which is what we come on to later in the video, I suppose. The only thing I've ever been good at is BVR, pretty much in an Eagle. Cabin Reapers, decent combat, 7-man formation. So we've got our next people we got were 2 women, Raven and, oh god, I'm going to get in trouble now. Can't remember the other one. It was Raven and another nice young lady, and we started doing, and at this point I started saying, okay, well, if we're going to fly together, we're going to fly in perfect formation. So even back here, mid 2016, I made us fly in wingtip formation, as you can see there. And it was, A, because it looks cool, and it was also about installing discipline. If you don't have discipline in a group, you've got nothing. So instilling discipline. And for whatever reason, that just attracted people. I could put these videos out, and it would just attract people in, having this disciplined group of people who can also have a laugh, obviously, but don't take it mega seriously. Couldn't get any friends on this day, so I went hunting in the mountains, Captain Reaper, formation, air attack at dawn. So I started to have more than kind of 20 viewers at this point, so I started having to make better screenshots and stuff like this. Same thing, me and probably Joker here, 4-plane formation. We've got our next guy here, Tilly B, still about somewhere. English guy, used to fly with us, used to make the missions for us. None of these, I didn't make any money out of these. These are all, I had music, copyright music, and all of it. I didn't ever think I'd actually, try and monetize anything at this point. Just until the monetization doesn't start until about 2018. Blah blah blah. Keep going. To 6-plane formation, managed to get 6 people on. 4-plane formation, managed to get. We're just formation attack, and we started getting helicopters. I got my Huey at this point, and so on. It just moved from there, and it just grew and grew. More and more people came up. We had our first split. I don't know, probably around here somewhere. I fired Joker because he was just being a pleb. I ended up firing about 10 times over the last 4 years. And I used to be much stricter than I am. I've got very soft now in my old age. And basically everyone left. And just as everyone left, Riddle came in, who's still in with us now. So he must, apart from Joker, must be our longest serving man, maybe? Not sure. And it just whittled down to just me and Riddle, and we just kept it going. I was about to give up, as I have many times over the years, and I just me and Riddle. So if it wasn't for Riddle, we would have given up, and we wouldn't have done a bit of thing. But which is why he gets special status, a bit like Joker. And so Riddle started again. We built the group up from scratch. Built it up, got members, did hiring videos, and this is around the time when we started to actually do some cool videos, cool screenshots and stuff like that, proper setting the camera up and learning how to use the camera properly, stuff like that. We started flying different things, some stuff in Vietnam, and no campaigns at the time. We didn't even do campaigns. It's just our very first missions, 8 ship, our biggest group yet, and so on and so on and so on, until eventually we started doing what we're doing now, basically. So if we go back, and we've stuck with it ever since. So let me just think. If I go back out here, so we started doing campaigns at this point. So our earliest campaign for the lols. Again, it's fun because I haven't really looked at this stuff. Earliest campaign must have been, oh bloody hell, these aren't in order. How frustrating. Oh well, that's annoying. But it would have been one of these: Falklands, Ecuador, Peru, something like that. You can just tell by the type of screenshot how old it is. And then all the way up until the new ones: Coffee, Colombia, Scorched Sand, Desert Rats, stuff like that. Wow, look at those campaigns. The amount of work that's gone into that. Thousands of hours of video making and planning and mission making, stuff like that. Cool. All of that. And all of these different types of one-off missions that we do DCS, IL-2 Armour over the years. All these different games we've developed. Lots of them haven't made it in here. Lots of them have tested and haven't worked, but these are the ones that have worked. Probably a thousand missions in there. 1,000 missions in there. We started doing tutorials. I don't know. God knows why I started doing that. It's like, I don't know. I've always been a pretty good teacher. I was never good at making these videos, but I was always a good teacher. And so, for some reason, I just wanted to make these tutorials, even though all I got was people slagging me off for it. But I've never let that stop me before. And so I started doing these tutorials. They were all crap. I spent a year doing all of them, and they were all crap. And And then that's when I got cancer. So that must have been, when did I get that? It must have been mid 2018. I was off for 3 months, completely off. And I came back refreshed, and then I could think properly because the fucking football side cancer was gone. And so then I spent, and I've only just finished, I spent a solid year redoing every single one of these. There must be 500-600 videos in here. Every single plane, every single thing you can do on every single plane. Proper OCD stuff, setting every control up, dropping every bomb, firing every gun. Redid them all to a proper decent standard, which is why people use them and watch them now. There's still a couple of old crappy ones in there that I just wanted to keep for fun, like a couple of old Huey ones with Sherman, some Mirage P-51s with Sherman, just good fun. But the vast majority I've just redone from scratch. So that's that. More tutorials. There various educational stuff I've done over the years. Learning DCS, learning aviation in general. Silly stuff I've done, obviously, over the years, all placed into there. And meetings. We've done various meetings with the GR boys. The latest meeting we had in Riot 2019, this year, we managed to get like 20-something people together. So it was awesome. And that's it, really. That's the history of Grim Reapers. I can't think of anything else to say there. Anything, you haven't been with us long, RC, but anything you can think of adding to the history?
No, but how do you think has the Reaper how do you think they've improved?
Right, so that's the second part of the question. So how do you think they've improved? So I'll split it into two. One is me, just Cap, because obviously I know about me. And the other is Grim Reapers as the group. So you get pick any person in the world, you get good at what you do a lot. If you work in a factory and you make stamps every day, you get really freaking good at making stamps. And if you kick a football every day, you get really good at playing football. It's just simple. It's just how the human brain works. So in DCS, I'll do me first personally, and then I'll do the group. I think they're going to work out pretty similar because they both have the same input, the same parameters. So me, I started off doing just BVR and F-15s, and I did that, as you can see from what we looked at there, for several months. And I got really good at, I'm not the best. I'm certainly not the most gifted pilot out there. It's as simple as that. But I got really good at doing BVR and F-15. I could go to the 104th server at the time, a few years ago. That was a big server to go on to hardcore fights. And I could do really well, hold my own and get to the top of the scoreboard. And that's probably the only time I've actually ever been good at something in DCS. Since then, I've spread out and I've bought, one way or another, or been given by you very nice viewers, all of the modules in DCS, and because of that, I fly all of them, and I fly all of them because I want to show you all of them, and I want to, as you all know by now, grow DCS and make it the biggest thing in flight simulating, because I think it has that, it's not there yet, but it has that prospect, and I would like to be involved in that. And because of that, it means I have to fly everything. So basically all 37 planes I fly, as you know, and I fly basically one plane for every month, every day of the month, basically. And if you take anyone, you take the best pilot in the world, take, I don't know, Winkle Brown, whoever, that's probably a bad example. We take one of the Polish pilots during, I'm just picking people out of the air, but one of the Polish squadron, the main Polish squadron, the Battle of Britain, say, take some of those pilots, some of those top guns, the biggest top guns in the Battle of Britain. And if you made them fly a different plane every day of the month, then they wouldn't be any good at flying those aeroplanes because they're not repeating anything. And exactly because of that, I'm not any good at flying any of these aircraft. The absolute best I can do is just try and just about be proficient in all of them. And I'll never be able to get any better than that because flying 37 airframes is just not possible. Same with a lot of our guys. And it's actually becoming a bit of a problem in DCS at the moment. We're actually getting so many planes. It's becoming very hard to learn how to fly them. And we don't have any solution for that. That's just a thing. And people say, oh, get good at one or two airframes. I don't want to do that. I want to prioritize showing off DCS. That's why I want to prioritize. There's plenty of other people out there that are really good at flying just one or two airframes. And that's great. Let them do that, but it's not for me. Okay. So what have I actually got good at? Well, I've got good at, put it into a word, adaptability is the word. So I'm not very good at BVR anymore. I'm terrible at dogfights. I crap at air to ground, not really good at seed. I'm not really good at landing. I'm not really good at refueling. I'm not really good at anything. But the thing I've learned to be good at is adaptability. So I can go out and fly a MiG-21 and just about operate it and shoot stuff down, and land just about, and then take off in a Spitfire or a Messerschmitt, go and roughly shoot some bad guys down in a pretty shit ACM, land it, then get in my Hornet and go and lay some JDAMs over a target just about, more or less, and then land it and then jump in. Do you know what I mean? Absolutely everything I can cover. That's what I've learned to be adaptable, and as well as that, adaptable to winds. You know, we fly 100-mile-an-hour winds sometimes, we fly at night, we fly at day, we fly at sea, we fly land, we fly everything, everywhere, all the time. And that's what my skill has become. I can jump in, and so I've learned to fly. I fly all of these planes purely by feel. I often get like wags coming on and putting comments on my video saying you're flying at the wrong speed, you're taking off at the wrong speed, you're landing at the wrong speed. But I can't learn 37 planes worth of speeds. It's just not possible. Everything. And luckily in DCS, the engine is good enough. It's not the best engine out there. You know, I prefer the X-Plane engine in terms of flight engine. But it's good enough. It is good. It's good enough that you can fly all of these planes purely by feel, and give you enough feedback. You can tell when they're stalling. You can tell when they're unhappy. You can tell when they're yawing. You can tell when they're this and that. So I don't know any numbers on any of these planes because it'd be impossible. I just do everything like flying a Spitfire purely by feel. So adaptability and doing things by feel, which is a skills that most other people just don't have. Most people in DCS don't have the ability to quickly adapt to a Spitfire after a Tomcat, and most people can't play by feel either. Most of them, I note, have to have numbers they work to and so on, which is fine. That's how it is. And that goes on to the final question. Sorry it's taken so long, but it has been an interesting journey down memory lane, to be honest, for me. Comes on to how GR have improved over 4 years, 5 years, whatever, depending how you want to measure it. Same thing, to be honest. Again, exactly the same as me. The guys can't be good at BVR. The guys can't be good at ATM. The guys can't be good at seed, anti-ship, CAS, DAS, strike, all the different things that we do, because we don't specialise in anything. Every day is something completely different, in a completely different type of airframe, in a completely different environment, a completely different blah, 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 blah. So they've got good, just like me, at adapting. I'll take them out in F-18s, we'll land, we'll go up in Spitfires, we'll land, we'll go up in Cold War jets, we'll land, we'll go up in this and that. And they're learning by me as well. They're learning to play by feel as well. Again, they can't do perfect circuit for an F-16 because it's going to vary from what they do with a Spitfire and so on. So we just do everything by feel, and that's what they're good at, because that's what I make them do at the end of the day. They've got good in terms of discipline, as in, I keep my guys in a pretty tight check. It doesn't always work out, but keeps them in discipline. And with in terms of actual core player skill, we've not got better. We started and we started getting serious. And that's where we started. We've actually come full circle. So we started off with prioritising fun mixed with a little bit of skill. That was the ethos of Grim Reapers when we started. Again, before monetization or anything like that, before we intended to even think about taking it seriously. Having fun is the main thing. It's a hobby, and if you don't have fun doing your hobby, i.e. DCS, to be honest, I recommend you don't do it. I recommend you go and find something that you do have fun in. It's critical that you do have fun. I think if we talk to Nick Gray, he would say exactly the same thing. There's just no point of doing it if you don't have fun. And then we start getting more serious around kind of middle of 2018, just before I got sick. We had, the serious guys came in, and we started doing really serious missions and doing proper 9-line missions and stuff like that. And we got, if you look at the videos from back then, those are the best missions we ever did in terms of realism, respect that we got from the community and stuff like that. But what we found is that the fun went away from it, and we're coming back to the basic thing that we weren't having fun in DCS anymore, and I wasn't getting $50 a month from it. What the hell are we doing here? And so one way or another, we had another split, and then we went back full circle back to where we come from and where we are now, which was having fun with a bit of realism and taking it fairly seriously, but not, we're not pretending to be pilots. You're obviously all aware of that, and that's where we've come. So skill-wise, we've kind of come back to exactly where back to where we started. So adaptability is what we're good at. Pretty much the only thing. It's generalization. We've got some decent pilots in there. We always have had, but generally speaking. And for certain things, I always make the guys. I guess that's my last point. Certain things I always make my guys do. They always moan about it and whinge about it, but I do all the time. I always make them fly in parade formation. And the reason, and people always say on the internet, that's not realistic, you're stupid. Well, okay, fine. But it's a really good way of upping. We don't, have time really to train and stuff like that. So it's a really good way of upping people's skill. Go in a server, fly in parade formation, and you'll find that your skill improves exponentially, your flying skill. How you can control your jet. The other thing I make us do air-to-air refueling. It's very uncomfortable. Again, it makes you a really good pilot if you can air-to-air refuel. It makes you really learn, understand, and respect your jet if you can do things like that. So I force the guys to do things like that to keep their skill level high enough. None of us are super high skilled, but to keep them high enough. As well as that, we're not competitive. We don't do any competitive stuff. So BVR and stuff like that, there's no need for us to get amazingly good, to be honest. We do have a competitive wing, as you know, the AirTac or whatever they're called now, the Raiders little subgroup, and those guys train specifically in BVR, and they get really good at that thing, for the competitive side of things, which takes us back to our very first point. So that summarises it pretty much as I want to summarise it. Anything you could think of adding, RC?
Just that, when you're flying all those jets, you become a jack of all trades and a master of none.
That's exactly right.
The master of none. So,
same with everything in life, RC.
It keeps the fun in it.
Keeps the fun in it. And I always recommend not taking DCS too seriously. Again, the people that I see taking DCS really seriously, and there's several thousand hardcore group at the moment that's causing, well, a lot of people problems at the moment that want to take it seriously. And if you don't take it seriously, you're doing it wrong and you should go and play another game. Terrible attitude these humans have, and I'm determined to get rid of that, basically. That's going to be it for another video, but no, it's not. You shouldn't take DCS seriously. You can if you want to, but again, only as long as you're having fun. Don't let people bully you out of it because they think you're not doing it seriously. That I will eradicate that one way or another. But again, that's a long-term project. That's it, guys.
And by the way, you are what you are good at is formation flying.
Yeah, okay. Well, technically, RC, I'm actually a terrible formation flyer, but I can fly close to people.
Formation flyer. How about that?
I'm close flyer. I suppose. Again, exactly the same thing. That's one thing I put into every mission, RC. I ensure that we parade formation, and that's allowed me to get good at something at least. You know what I mean? So yeah, it's about the best I can do, being just one human and one brain. Right, I better sign off there, RC, because we're just going to turn up and do another 3-hour video. I hope you enjoyed that, and I'll see you later.
I can add something for you.
Oh, send, Artie. Didn't see you sneak in.
We've become friends with a lot of groups, like the 104th and things like that.
Yeah, we have become friends. We've got all sorts of friends out there, and not just groups as well, but
attracted people who are now building missions and things, and
there's so
we
much.
now have a number of servers.
Well, 5 servers, about to become 6. So many people behind the background. We've got literally every type of pilots, real fighter pilots in us, which is amazing, really, because we're clearly not very fighter pilot friendly. I can see why real fighter pilots get really pissed off with us, because we're not professional at all. We've got that. We've got tacticians, real life army Air Force tacticians with us. All this sort of amazing stuff we've become friends with, relationships we've grown. And the only problem we have, to be honest, nowadays is there's just never enough time to do it all. So many people saying, I want to liaise with you, I want to do this, I want to do this, I want to do a video talking about my experience in this and that and that. But I'm already putting 3 videos out a day, and there's just no more fucking time.
And you have a girlfriend that you need to...
Exactly. And,
or fiance, I should say.
It's a shame there isn't more time. To do, because there's so many cool things I could do. I literally get, well, as you're about to find out, because I've just passed the emails onto RC because I can't cope with them anymore. So much stuff coming through requesting to do this and that. But anything else on the topic of how GR have improved?
We haven't really improved at all.
No, we haven't improved. That's what I said. I said we're happy where we are, to be honest. We're just happy.
Your video making skills have improved.
Yeah, well, they've plateaued.
Yeah.
I can't get any further without putting hours and hours and hours in.
I mean, from early to now.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, actually, in terms of video making skills, if you follow it through the chain line, they started off terrible. They got really good in about 2017, 2018, but then I realised that literally I was spending so much time doing them, whole day doing a video, 6, 7, 8, 9 hours. So I've actually tailored it back now, and the videos are actually less good now. There's less footage. I don't put music in the videos anymore, because it's simply just... honestly, I get, how do I say it really? But it's not equivalent. How much appreciation you get maybe is not equivalent to how much work you put in. I could put 12 hours per video like I used to in the olden days. But to be honest, no one really notices the difference between that and putting like 3 hours in. So I've scaled back the quality.
Some people do notice.
Yeah, I guess some people do, but the vast majority, I
can't,
don't.
like you said, you can't put that much time into it.
No, it was getting silly. I
don't think they've.
I mean, I was literally working through the night and some days, and I ended up getting cancer basically. So it was like, shit, got to stop doing this. And then I went back to now I'm normal kind of 9 to 5 type thing, as you know.
Well, there's a ton of copyright-free music out there that you can use.
No, it's not that, Auntie. I just mean the time it takes to go through the music and put it in. I just.
Oh yeah.
Life's too short for it, to be honest. So I don't have me. I've just simplified it back now, and no, cool. All right, guys, I'm going to put that together now.